The great Mike Mayock is with us here, Radio Row Super Bowl week. It is Wednesday, man. It is getting busy here, Mike.
Yeah, I'm looking around here, and you know, I'm sitting up here, and we're chatting, and somebody's yelling Mikey at me. Mikey, Mikey. And I think it's like a buddy from Philly, and
right.
It wasn't even me. There's a lot going on around here.
So that was Taylor, my executive producer, yelling at Mikey A., who is another one of my producers. And so we're sorry about that.
No, I enjoyed it. I
you
answered.
responded.
I answered. Yo, what's up?
I wanted to tell you, your daughter's doing a fantastic job. She's been working with us all week.
Oh, good.
It has to be such a thrill for you to have these experiences with your daughter, right?
You know what's kind of cool is we've worked some stuff together over the years, but never together on the same production.
Right.
Like maybe it's a game, and I'm up in the booth, and she's elsewhere. Today, and then last week when we did a shoot for a show called on Sumer Sports that it's called The Evaluation, she and I were on the same set for 3 days in a row, and I got to see my daughter work, and it was really cool. Are you a dad?
Yes. 2 daughters.
Okay.
Yes.
So I had a feeling you were a girl dad.
Well, it's kind of
by that question.
So I have 2 21-year-olds. Yeah, because I have 2 21-year-olds. One's at Syracuse, the other's at Northwestern.
Oh, wow.
And one of them plays lacrosse at Northwestern, which is like the Alabama of women's lacrosse.
Well, almost next to BC.
The Indiana.
Next to Boston College.
So they play Boston College this Friday, right?
Yeah.
And I played lacrosse growing up, and I've always said it is so much more fun and gratifying to watch my daughter do it than it is to do it myself.
Yep.
So I think you're going through some of that, right?
I had no idea that she could multitask the way she does, and it was cool for me to see it.
Yeah, you had no idea you raised her correctly.
Yeah. I'm not going there. But
So tell us about the evaluation. We had Big E on the other day.
Oh, he's awesome. Huh?
He's fantastic.
Yeah.
So tell us about the show and what you're doing with it here.
So basically, I want you to imagine like an old school scout like me who just wants to grind tape and write reports. And there are about 25 or 30 of us at Sumer that do that. Okay, and we have over 500 years in the NFL between us.
Right.
So it's real football. We're writing reports. And then you're going to match that up with the 27-year-old data analyst with all his AI. Right. So I'm going to sit there and read a report on a slot receiver who I think creates separation. And this 27-year-old kid looks at me. He's like, well, you know, I'm not, you know, the depth of target and the degree of separation leads me to believe maybe you're not right about that. And I'm looking at this kid like he looks like he's 11.
Right.
But the cool thing is his numbers actually do tell a story.
Right.
And if I'm not careful, I'm going to be that dumb old guy that you know, get off my back porch.
Technology, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Get off my back porch.
Yeah, like, dude. So what we've done with the show is we've married those two philosophies together, and we've gotten a bunch of guys that are some of the greatest players of all time. And, for instance, just to give you an example, I asked Howie Long, who's one of my best friends in the world. I asked Howie, Luke Kuechly, Steve Smith Sr., and Max Crosby the same question about instincts. Like, when did you develop your instincts? How did you? When did you trust them?
Right.
And these guys all went off for like 10 minutes on because they loved the question, and they gave. And the cool thing for me was I was getting goosebumps because all 4 answers were in different words, in different terminology, different positions, but effectively it was the same answer.
Right.
And these are 4 of the best players that ever played at their positions.
Right.
And I'm not going to say what the answer was, but it was really
You're going to make them watch, right?
Yeah, and then so it's every Thursday coming up in a different position every week, and we're fired up about it.
That is amazing. What are your thoughts here on the Seahawks and the Patriots? It's a weird kind of Super Bowl where we do have the best 2 teams playing in the Super Bowl. Yet it feels like people aren't that excited for the Super Bowl. It's a weird thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get that because I think the story of New England. You talk about 4 wins a year ago.
Yeah.
And to get where they are today, you need a head coach and a GM. And people aren't talking about the GM enough in the job that Elliott did.
You're right.
But the head coach and the GM are fully aligned. You've got a quarterback in year 2 that took a big jump.
Yep.
Congrats, Josh McDaniels, on what you did to get him there. And the GM brought in 6 starters on defense through free agency, both high-level guys, high money, low-level guys. They're just glue guys.
Sure.
And you put all that together in a big pot, and without Drake May, it's not going to work. But it all works because they're all doing their jobs. And, like, I was with a couple of the Boston guys I know pretty well, and they're all like, Mike, we thought this was 3 or 4 years away at best.
Right.
But Jacksonville turned it around. Chicago turned it around. Why? Because a talented quarterback met up with a good play caller, and they supported the kid.
Yep.
How do you have to pivot as an executive when all of a sudden you're like, all right, we're looking 3 years down the road.
Yep.
We think we've got these people. Oh no, we're here now. Like, how do you have to pivot as an executive when that happens?
Yeah, I think it's intriguing because put yourself in Elliot Wolf's position going back, and he and Vrabes are tied at the hip, and Vrabes is a hands-on guy. So there's a lot of good football conversation going on. So they look at this thing, and they're like, we got to remake the whole offensive line. So what do? Your first-round pick, Will Campbell, your third-round pick, and then your coach has to say, I'm going to play him, even if it's painful at times. And Will Campbell had some painful moments, but they're still at the Super Bowl. And next year, Will Campbell's going to be a way better football player because of the experience. Yep. Same with Jared Wilson. You know, they signed Morgan Moses off the street. They signed another cap casualty from Minnesota that starts at center for them, Bradbury. And then on defense, they get 6 free agents. 6 starters, right? Some low-level guys like Kairos Tonga, who's just as important to the high-level guy next to him, Milt Williams. Yep. And so to answer your question, it's a really good question, but I don't know if they ever pivoted because they kind of got where they wanted to get a lot earlier, and now it's about continuing to build on that base.
Yep. Shame on me for not knowing you attended Boston College, and that's why you were pointing out that Boston College is better than Northwestern lacrosse.
Well, I mean, if you're talking girls lacrosse, no offense to you, Dad.
Yes.
But BC's been to, I think, 7 of the last title games in a row.
They have.
They haven't won them all.
They haven't won them all. Northwestern won a couple of years ago. BC won the following year. Carolina won it last year.
Yeah.
So those are the 3 big programs. But your larger point is correct. BC is I guess BC is the standard now in women's lacrosse. So
I think it's pretty cool. Hasselback, I think, had his.
Now you put me in a position where my daughter's coach is going to kill me for saying that.
No. I'm sorry. Northwestern is unbelievable.
Right, and I speak to Hasselback all the time. His daughter, you're right. Both his daughters are at BC. So this game, Seattle. Their defense is overwhelming, and I don't think people are paying enough attention to just how good that defense is because everyone's focused on Sam Darnold, the quarterback, his story, and it's a great story. But that defense is really what has made this team go the whole season.
It's such a good point. Yeah. And you know what? Early in the season, somebody said, Mike, have you watched any tape of Seattle, their defense? I was like, I haven't. I haven't had a game with them or whatever. They're like, do yourself a favor and just throw it on. Watch a couple games. So I did. I was like, holy crap, there are a few times when you throw on tape and you see fast and violent.
Right.
All the way to the ball. 11, you talk about it, teams talk about it, but very rarely do you see fast, violent men chasing the ball down and they're pissed off and they're finishing. And that's what that is. So on top of all the other talent that they've assembled, they've done a great job defensively of bringing that into a unit that's proud. They're different than the Legion of Boom, but they get it done like they do.
Is that coaching, or is that getting the 11 guys that buy into that philosophy?
A bit of both, I think,
Great, and it really is because coaching is so important, but you got to have mostly guys with dog mentalities. Right. And what I found is that over the years is that if you put a talented college player who's maybe not a dog but a real talented kid, if you put, and he's a defensive end, if you put him in the room with 4 dogs, he's going to gravitate toward being a dog. If you put him in a room with 4 lazy slobs that are just happy to pick up a paycheck,
gravitate that way.
He's going to gravitate that way. He's 22 years old. He's a kid, right?
Yes.
So I think what happens is the coaches do a great job and take pride in what they do. You start to win a little, it gets infectious, and the players are all buying in now. And now that becomes the norm, like the old Baltimore Ravens teams with Ray Lewis.
Right.
Fast, hungry dogs. It became, and when a rookie came in, it was up to them. To change themselves and grow into that.
So to have guys like Ray Lewis and Ed Reed set that standard for the rest of the team are hugely important.
Yeah.
It's crazy. We appreciate you doing this. One more time, tell us about the evaluation, what you're doing with it. Promote it on the way out here, Mike.
Yeah, it's going to be every Thursday starting on the 12th, different position, and we're going to marry up old school football with analytics. We're going to throw in some Hall of Fame players talking about what they did.
I love
it. And we're going to evaluate a bunch of this year's draft players on the show.
We're football junkies. We're psyched for this. We are.
Yeah, lock in, man. Thank you.
What's the key to rocking a cap like that, man? Because you look good in that. You really do.
I can't do that.
In all honesty, I'm one of 7 kids. I'm the oldest boy, and my dad was my high school football coach. And on game day, he wore one of these caps.
Really? Game day cap?
Game day. And when I went to the Raiders, I pulled out a couple of my old caps because in Philly they call them Jeff hats and whatever. Sure. And I pulled it out and I just said, that's who I'm going to be. I'm going to honor my dad.
I love that.
But thank you.
One quick question on the way out.
Yeah.
You own an NFL team, okay?
Yeah.
You have to hire a GM and a head coach.
Yeah.
Who is Mike Mayock hiring to fill those positions?
I mean, Howie Roseman.
Really?
Is
that was
quick.
Yeah, that's the standard right there. Right?
He's the standard, and Philly's probably the overall. Even though they're not here,
right?
You know, you can talk about a standard, and maybe that's who they are.
Yep.
Right now, and as far as the head coach, I think that's a really hard one because there's so many guys I would take, and I love
Vrabel for me.
I was just going to say that the job that Vrabel has done.
Ryan Tannehill to an AFC Championship game,
dude. Like everywhere he's gone, he's won.
Yes.
You know, so Vrabel will be hard to beat.
We appreciate your time. So
Thanks,
your daughter's doing a killer job, and it's nice to see you two enjoying Radio Row and Super Bowl week.
I appreciate you. I appreciate both you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mike. Good luck with the show.
Thank you.
Okay.